Just let me know what y'all want to talk about. Ask me a question. Ask Eric. You can call me. You can email me at ericp4president@gmail.com. Sign up for the Powery Posse. The form is at the bottom of my website, ericp4president.org. Google me. I'm being in Yahoo. All my social media will come up. Follow all my social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. YouTube show coming soon. I'm putting together a panel of 4 people, and we're going to talk about current events, sports, politics, fashion, religion, movies, motion pictures, TV shows, all that. You know what I'm saying? So just share and subscribe. Share and subscribe. Share and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Comment on anything you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Just give me engagement. Like, hate, comment. Hashtag Gang Green. Hashtag Green Party. Hashtag Go Green. Hashtag Erik Powery. Hashtag Powery Posse. You know what I'm saying? Spell my name right. WRITE. My name is Erik. ERIK. Last name Power with a Y in the end. POWERY.
We can't predict when rates will drop, but while you wait, the perfect home is selling to someone else. With over 500,000 new real listings every month on Realtor.com, find yours before it's gone. Start your search today.
Subscribe and share. SNS. Share and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me some more show ideas. I want to have a network. I want to have different shows, different people on my YouTube channel. So come with a show idea, and you know what I'm saying? You can record it, and you can send it to me. I can upload it to my channel. So we can do it, man. It's like, say, just let me know. And like, hate, comment, subscribe. I need engagement. I need comments. So comment, you know what I'm saying? Anything on sports, current events, fashion, movies, music. You know what I'm saying? TV series, sports, religion.
About to undergo a mass exodus in its civil rights division, the unit that works against
everything is up for debate. Everything is up for
sex,
debate.
disability, and more.
There's a source that says roughly 70% of its staff will be accepting a severance package, allowing them to leave now but receive pay through the fall. The deadline to accept the offer was last night. CNN Chief Legal Affairs Correspondent Paula Reed is with us now on this story. 70%, Paula, that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people. This division has roughly 340 individuals working there. So with 70% heading for the exit, we're talking about well over 200 people. But what's so interesting right now about the Civil Rights Division at the Justice Department, as many people may know, the Justice Department has different divisions to handle different kinds of legal matters. So national security, criminal, tax, antitrust, and the Civil Rights Division is there to defend people's civil rights. Under Democratic administrations, they usually focus on voting rights, police use of force. In the past 2 Democratic administrations, they have focused on protecting the rights of transgender individuals to conduct their lives in a way that is consistent with the sex that they have chosen, not necessarily the one on their birth certificate. But under Republican administrations and the last Trump administration, the division, it's very quiet. It's not completely dormant, but it's certainly not as active. We reported back in December that the Trump administration actually wanted to make this one of the most active divisions at the Trump DOJ. They wanted to use it to push back on DEI policies, to combat anti-Semitism, and to protect girls participating in sports from transgender athletes. So it is not surprising that we're seeing this exodus, but let's take a listen to what the head of the division, Harmeet Dillon, had to say.
En masse, dozens and now over 100 attorneys decided that they'd rather not do what their job requires them to do. And I think that's fine. The job here is to enforce the federal civil rights laws, not woke ideology. And so, you know, that's fine. We need to replace those people because I have a very robust affirmative civil rights agenda that I think many Americans will be pleased with.
So a source familiar with these offers says that, in fact, it was implied that people would be fired if they did not accept them. So Dillon's quote there, not exactly accurate.
Good context. Paula Reed, thank you so much. We are learning some new details now about a proposal that the White House made to El Salvador.
According to emails seen by CNN, the Trump administration proposed sending up to 500 migrants with ties to a Venezuelan gang to El Salvador's notorious mega prison. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins us now with more on her reporting. Priscilla, what else have you learned about this deal?
Look, the administration has not been very forthcoming about what this included, what the deal making was as they were going back and forth with El Salvador. And it has been a pretty central part to the court cases that have been ongoing on this very matter. Now, according to emails seen and according to sources that were spoke with me and my colleague Jennifer Hansler, what we have learned is that even in the days just before those deportation flights took off in mid-March, there was correspondence between senior U.S. officials and senior Salvadoran officials trying to iron out what this would look like. One number floated was up to 500 migrants sent from the United States. There was also requests by El Salvador to receive MS-13 gang leaders as well. Now, I was told by a U.S. official that the 500 number was really notional, and what it ended up being was up to 300, and that's what happened. 238 Venezuelan migrants sent in March to El Salvador, to this notorious mega prison. We also learned a little bit more about the payment schedule here. So $15 million had been approved. There was at one point where they were talking about a $10 million figure. The way that this is, the math here really is that it was $20,000 per person. So eventually the U.S. sent just under 5 million or just under 6 million to El Salvador.
Share and subscribe, like, hate, comment.
Would also be contingent.
Subscribe to my
on who they
YouTube
send
channel.
there. Now, when I've spoken to immigration,
I'm starting the
officials,
Prince
they say,
Powery
look,
Productions
this
Network,
is still
where I'm gonna have
cheaper
different
than
shows on my
it would be
YouTube
to,
channel.
detain
Let's talk about
migrants
it.
in
Politics,
It's still an
sports,
unprecedented
religion,
step.
current
Of course,
events,
part of the
fashion,
issue
motion
here is that who has
pictures,
custody
TV
of these
series,
migrants who are sent
landscaping,
from the United
gardening.
States. And U.S. officials tell me
You know what
that
I'm
is
saying?
El Salvador.
DIY, you know what I'm
A
saying?
better picture as to why that is.
Indoor,
I would also note
outdoor
that in the course of my reporting, what
housework.
officials told me is that this was really a non-binding agreement. It was an arrangement. There is no formal agreement here. It's really about the transfer of funds, which was really remarkable given, again, that this is the United States sending deportees to El Salvador, some of whom, or many of whom, are not actually from there.
Really fascinating reporting. Priscilla Alvarez, thank you so much. When we come back, thousands of overseas ballots are in limbo in North Carolina after an unprecedented election challenge by a Republican candidate. This legal fight could wind up in the Supreme Court. We'll discuss in just a few minutes.
My Happy Place, Sunday at 10 on CNN.
This is the new Automower IQ series from Husqvarna. It's a lawnmower. So is this. Automower IQ series navigates with satellites. The other navigates with legs. Automower IQ series keeps any lawn fresh cut every day. So you don't have to do this every weekend. This is robotic mowing. Controlled with the touch of a button. Welcome to the future of mowing.
Our passions don't fade with age. So when the body needs some help keeping up with the heart, there's home instead. Because you never know. This year might be the year. Home instead. For a better what's next.
You might know Harbor Freight for affordability. What you might not know is performance and durability go right along with it. You see, we test, and then we test again. World-class engineering and rigorous testing to ensure our tools perform at the highest level and stand the test of time without testing your wallet. Now, it's time for you to put us to the test. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
She's really getting up there. Yeah, she is.
Don't feel your age. Act your age. Asper Cream.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel. They lead the way. So you arrive exactly where you belong.
At Drive Time, we make it easy to buy a car. Get approved on your phone, shop for cars on your phone, customize your terms on your phone. I made the deal I want on the car I want. And the deal you make on your phone is a deal you pay at the real Drive Time dealership. Awesome. Is that a portal? It's more of a metaphor for the seamless process between the deal on your phone and the real Drive Time dealership. I'm gonna go buy that car. Get in there. Wow, it's the same deal I made on my my phone. It's the same deal. This is the commercial. Go get your real deal at drivetime.com.
Since starting the farmer's dog, Bogart has lost so much weight, and he has so much more energy. It's like a puppy again. Mama! This is the before picture of Bogart. Such a big boy. Pre-portioned packs. Makes it really easy to keep him lean and healthy. And look at him now. He's like a show dog.
Vogue. Can you give Daddy a break here? He's having a hard enough time.
Longing for connection? Long Fence will build the perfect place for get-togethers and making memories. And right now, Long Fence is offering 25% off fences, decks, and pavers. Longing for a fence, patio, or deck? Contact Long Fence today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's Cars with a Cat. Pick up is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a travel voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This is gonna be so tasty.
I think you know what you're doing.
I'm so excited.
Eva Longoria searching for Spain, Sunday at 9 on CNN.
A North Carolina Supreme Court race is still undecided nearly 6 months after the election. An unprecedented legal challenge by the Republican candidate is threatening to toss out thousands of overseas ballots, despite voters appearing to follow the rules for voting abroad. CNN's Diane Gallagher is in North Carolina. So, Diane, a U.S. District Judge could rule on this challenge at any time.
That's right, Brianna, but that's not necessarily going to be the end of this. We anticipate this could still go on for months and potentially up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So this is very complex. Try and follow along with me here. After 2 recounts, unofficial results show incumbent Justice Allison Riggs, that's the Democrat, ahead of the Republican Judge Jefferson Griffin by 734 votes. Very narrow margin. There are no results that have been certified, though. They're still uncertified because Griffin has challenged more than 60,000 votes, not on the basis of fraud. There is no fraud alleged here at all, but mostly on clerical errors, technicalities should not have been in place or not properly followed. Griffin's team and the state GOP say that this is about a sloppy state election board that just doesn't follow the law. But Riggs and voting rights advocates believe this is about changing the rules of the game after it's over because you don't like the final score. A candidate trying to pick the voters after the fact rather than the voters picking their candidate during an election. Now, Griffin challenged 3 different types of voters in his original complaint. There was a temporary hold on all action at the moment as a federal judge is considering what the state Supreme Court determined earlier this month. First up are the never residents. These are the overseas U.S. citizens who have never lived in North Carolina, but they have a parent that is a resident here. These are typically the children of military, missionaries, and overseas employees. There are about 260 being challenged, and the state Supreme Court said despite a law that has allowed them to vote here for about a dozen years, well, it violates the state constitution, so those ballots should be tossed. Well, the problem is we're learning that not everybody labeled a never resident is one. I spoke with 20-year-old Josiah Young. He's a college student, born and raised in Western North Carolina. He was doing a semester abroad in Spain in the fall, so he cast his ballot in the 2024 election using this online portal that military and overseas voters use. Well, documents that we obtained show that he checked the wrong box on the federal form. It said, I'm a U.S. citizen living overseas. I've never lived in the U.S. But his registration data, readily available, including the fact that he voted in person twice as recently as March of 2024, shows that it's not the case. And he would love to be able to prove that, but he's not sure that he can. An independent journalist here in North Carolina, Brian Anderson, actually uncovered several never residents, voters with similar stories to Josiah. Advocacy groups have done the same. But the state Supreme Court said, in addition to those ballots being tossed, They didn't provide an option to fix them or to cure them. The state board says it wants those who are wrongly labeled Nevada residents to be able to prove they are. Griffin has objected to that. Now, the 60,000 voters who had incomplete information in their registration, the Supreme Court says that, look, those should be counted. It's not their fault. But finally, there are military and overseas voters who did not provide an ID when they cast their absentee ballots. That's because the state board exempted them from doing so. They were told not to for security purposes. The state Supreme Court says they should have done this and is giving them the opportunity maybe to cure those ballots. But there's also a discrepancy, Brianna and Boris, on how many of those voters there are. The state says it only applies to one county because of a deadline that Griffin may adhere to. He says it applies to voters in 6 counties, and the difference there could determine who the eventual winner is. Look, election rights advocates worry that this case, regardless of the outcome, is setting a dangerous precedent and a potential roadmap for future election challenges, while further basically eroding the general public's faith in public confidence in elections.
Yeah, you can see why. Diane Gallagher, thank you so much for that. When we come back, how a climber had to be rescued not once, but twice after going back for something we all really like, to be honest, but my goodness, I'll tell you after the break.
Wearing regular shoes feels this cramped. But Glide Step Wide Fit Hands-Free Skechers Slip-Ins feel like this. The Skechers Slip-Ins just step in, no bending down, no touching my shoes. Try Wide Fit Skechers Slip-Ins.
Explore the world the Viking way. From the quiet comfort of elegant small ships with no children and no casinos. We actually have reinvented ocean voyages, designing all-inclusive experiences for the thinking person. Viking, voted world's best by both Travel and Leisure and Condé Nast Traveler. Learn more at Viking.com.
Sarah Benzino, Brandon Coley, Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
What did she call Harper?
Oh, you mean Jablonski Auto Body LLC.
We actually sold the twins' naming rights.
You know, like stadiums do. Kids are so expensive these days. Here he comes.
Oasis Breeze Tan and Spa.
Need a tan? I'm your man. Can do business with you.
Or we can look at some investment options for you.
Works for us.
The right money moves aren't as absurd as you think.
Ever worry that you're drinking too much? Take back control with Or Health. Or Health provides access to medication proven to help. A daily pill to drink less, or to quit drinking altogether. Text TV1 to 710-710 to learn more.
The famous Lumber Liquidators April sale is going on now. 4 days only, ends Tuesday, April 29th. The time is now for new flooring. Get incredible deals at Lumber Liquidators. Small lots of hardwood flooring from 25 cents a square foot. Waterproof flooring from 69 cents a square foot. 5-inch pre-finished hardwood flooring from a major brand for a crazy price of $149 a square foot. All in stock Bellawood is 99 cents off. Hurry, it all ends April 29th. Go to lumberliquidators.com or visit your nearest store.
The cockroach, resilient creatures, where there is one, others aren't far behind.
Well, that's horrifying.
Ortho Home Defense Max Indoor Insect Barrier. One application kills and prevents bugs for 365 days. Nature's wild. Your home doesn't have to be.
Subway's got a new meal of the day. Chips and a drink for just $6.99. Or if you're big hungry, make it a footlong for only $3 more. Huh, big hungry. Is that a thing? That should be a thing. Find your fresh, the all-new $6.99 meal of the day at Subway.
Happy birthday, one of a kind. Snack loving, always elegant. Dog mom to Alfie. With gifts from Etsy.
Gifts and say I get you, Etsy.
Brian B. Quick is owned and operated by 4th-generation master plumbers. We are proud to have served our community for more than a decade. Whether your pipes are leaking, your drains are clogged, or you don't have hot water, we can help. We are committed to providing first-rate customer service. Trust Brian B. Quick with all your plumbing repairs to get your home working right again. Visit our website at brianbquick.com today.
Brian T. writes, moving is stressful. Can you help me take one thing off of my to-do list?
Moving's the worst.
With Xfinity, you can transfer your internet in just a few taps.
Just a few easy moves.
Did somebody say easy moves?
Oh no, I was talking about moving your internet.
Let's move the internet. Oh, let's keep it professional. Professional dancers.
Stay connected during your move with the best in-home Wi-Fi. Easily transfer your services in the Xfinity app.
The Arena with Casey Hunt, next on CNN.
Here's a question. How far would you go to find your phone? One man tested the limits at one of the most iconic places on Earth. Officials in Japan say they had to rescue a man from the slopes of Mount Fuji not once, but twice in just a week. The 27-year-old college graduate, rather college student, actually scaled the summit last week, more than 12,000 feet up, but he needed to get rescued to get down.
And that's where the trouble started, because his phone and some other belongings did not make it down the mountain with him. So then on Saturday, feeling better, he decided to go up and get them. Wasn't a good idea. This time he made it about 9,000 feet, only to become nauseous again and require another rescue. Police say he's doing fine now. Despite all of that, unclear if he got his phone back.
You lose your phone a lot? Do you have to
Oh yeah, I have a dinger on my watch and my husband makes fun of me for it.
Would you go back up a mountain for it?
Hell no.
Would you throw your hand into a porta potty the
No.
way that our producer Michelle's sister
Friend?
did?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yikes. The Arena with Casey Hunt starts right now.
It's Trump's day 1 versus day 100. Let's head into the arena. The president says he'll focus on the economy as he returns to battleground Michigan to mark his 100th day back in office. As polls show, voters have turned on his tariffs and his handling of the economy, and they're fearful about what's ahead. This hour, a key economic official at the White House, Kevin Hassett, joins us live to face questions about the president's trade war, a new deal in the works, and unexpected conflict with Jeff Bezos and Amazon. And Democrats in Congress are watching their ratings tank in a new CNN poll as their party demands action against Trump. We'll get reaction from Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan. Hi, everyone. I'm Casey Hunt. Welcome to the Arena. It's Tuesday, April 29th. It is the 100th day of the second Trump presidency. Perhaps you also feel like it's been a lot longer than that?
It's officially been 100 days of Donald Trump. I'm so tired.
All kidding aside, let's take a second to say the one thing that no one seems willing to say out loud, even as they say it privately, seemingly no matter which party they're from. Donald Trump's second opening act has been shocking. One shock after the next. Now, whether you think any of it's good or bad is obviously going to depend on where you sit. But in this moment, it is worth taking stock of just how much has changed and how fast. And part of this, for me anyway, is that during his first term, when he did so many things that at the time were so shocking, it seemed that absolutely nothing was shocking anymore, could be shocking anymore. Of course, it was all capped off by the events of January 6th. Then Donald Trump left town, and the shocking thing became the idea that the president could watch as the Capitol was sacked, he could fly into exile at his Florida club, he could face prosecution on multiple fronts, and then be reelected with a mandate more sweeping than the one he'd had before.
I want to ask you something.
Bottom line, he did win the election.
I want
The
to ask you
polling showed
something.
Americans thought Joe Biden was
I got an
too
iPhone
old.
15.
They were really with unhappy.
I can't return it because I bought it off Amazon. It's a
Under Joe
30-day
Biden to make-
return policy, and it.
It's been over 30 days, I guess.
Yeah, I bought it March 31st, 2024.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Is he giving them far more than what they bargained for?
you know,
Because so far,
maybe
it
you
has
might
been
be
a
able,
massive
maybe you might be
shock
able to
to
do
the
something
system.
with it. Like maybe you might be
It has
able
been
to.
shocking. to see students
define,
apprehended on
you know what I'm
the
saying?
street.
I know in New York they have like much
watch the
more
government
like,
tell
because
us that they won't bring back
again,
a man
Apple
that
was
they
like, it's
deported by
$329 to fix. I was like, dude,
And it's
like,
been shocking to learn that little kids who are U.S. citizens.
actually, I was going to do it,
deported,
actually,
they're
but then
non-citizen
again, I couldn't get into my account. I couldn't remember my password. So it was like,
depends on where you sit. The
so-
Trump administration, all of that is likely the point.
Go do what you gotta do, hon. It's all right.
It is also been shocking for
I'll-
us and for the rest of the
I
world
was
to
like-
watch President Trump talk about making Canada the 51st state.
if you want the
Very serious.
phone,
To talk about annexing Greenland. And then to do this with Vladimir Zelensky.
no, I was going to say, if you want the phone,
Your country's in big trouble. Wait a minute. No,
just send me the
you're
shipping
not
money. I'll
Your
ship it to you.
country
and shit.
is in
You know what
big
I'm saying? I'll
trouble.
ship- I'm just saying, if you,
You're not
because
really-
you might be able to find some dealers up there who might find somebody who
That
can
was
fix
just
it for
weeks before we
$50.
were all
I
shocked.
mean, I know New York City got like a lot of people who do shit like that.
That the
You know
national
what I'm saying?
security
That's-
I know Eddie would know.
added the editor of the Atlantic
You know what I'm saying? It's an
magazine
iPhone 15.
to a
It
single
was
group
a,
chat where the
I
Secretary
mean,
of
literally,
Defense then shared
the shit was
plans.
working absolutely flawless and fine. And I'm
That
talking
was all
out.
before
I'm talking about RG. And some,
Liberation Day.
and you know, some water was hitting it. It was raining and shit, but it was
Trump
like,
applied a tariff
that's
to
not
our
supposed to happen just
so
because,
severe that the
like,
market
it had a
for
cover
US
over it too. So
the
it
very
was like,
bedrock of our global
I think,
financial
you know, if I dropped that in a
system, that
pool,
allows us here in America
normally
to
I don't think that
sustain
phone would have
massive
went out
federal debt
like that. You know what I'm saying?
without
Like,
enduring collective universal misery.
so you know what I'm saying? Like,
That market was
so
shaken,
you know,
shaken enough for another shocking thing to happen: Donald Trump reversing himself on tariffs. At least a public.
even if you want to just send me, even if you just want to send me a package,
And in a world where everything is
you know what I'm
so
saying,
shocking, where the
with
shocker
your
is the point,
with the return
this is the part that has
label, you know what I'm saying? I'll just put that shit up in there and be like, yo, because I'm like,
economic.
it's dead to me. Like I can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like at this point.
We are on the
But you know what I'm saying?
of
It's
the
like
monetary order. The
maybe you know what I'm
domestic,
saying? Like
political, and the international world order
maybe you know what I'm saying? You can get it fixed. Maybe you can find somebody to fix it for $50,
unsustainable
$100 or something.
that can be
You know what I'm saying? Like you know,
easily
it's
seen,
like you know, there's much more options up in New York. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of stores, cell phone repair and stuff like that who do that stuff. You know that definitely will be cheaper than Apple. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
for a decade.
And stuff. So
A new CNN poll shows a significant.
you know, just a thought. If you wanted it, you wanted to just send me.
Have negative feelings.
You know what I'm saying? A return label, a return package. I'll just drop that shit up in there, drop it in the mail, and be like, boom. Because it's like I don't even want to look at it. I paid. I'm still making payments on the shit. $31 a month, and I'm like, I can't even. It's dead. It's in my room. It's in my room. You know what I'm saying?
Shock to the system is
like,
the shock to
like,
the system is simply
like,
too much.
Worried about Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security.
crazy.
He did say that he wasn't going to cut them. I'll give him some time, and I'm hopeful. But you know, I think that if he doesn't come through, he's going to have a lot of people turning on him.
Oh, I'm gonna give you the latest update.
Turning on him, of course, Trump voters that he was talking to.
I'm really disarming them.
I don't know if you've read your text, but I have
Michigan, but he did talk a little bit before he got on the plane.
He texted you.
To head that way. What have we learned?
I texted him.
That's right. Well, first of all, I think one of the striking things is what we've heard from him and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
Okay, just give me a little bit. You don't have to go into all. Give me the brief, sanitized synopsis of it. I know he's around. I know your son's around, so I don't want to.
Something doesn't sound right. The person at the helm has vowed to hate us, especially me, like blacklisted style. So I said, "What's going on? We have nothing. We have no proof of anything. We don't know what's going in. What's supposed to be dispersed." As regarding Virgil and that whole I said it has nothing to do with us. It has nothing really to do with our bottom line. You know, and it seems like Headstone and Mommy's Crown, it seems like, we talked about that last time, that was over a month ago. It seems like I'm given little jobs to divert from what's really going on, like smoke's being blown in my, listen, I went in, I was very nice about it, but.
What was his response? Just really quickly. Was it idiot? Was it?
Was a lot of doublespeak.
Oh, that's what I'm, good. That's all I wanted to say. Okay. That's it. That's what I've been trying to tell you. It's gonna be double speak.
But you don't understand though. The good thing is about that is I got it. He sounds very, very nervous that I'm under and I'm so bad. Like
a bullshitter. This is the guy that promised me $50 for 2 months. Like I say, and then when he got tired of me harassing him, then he turned into the victim. It's like,
That was very reasonable. It was to the point. It wasn't sugar coated, but it was respectful. Not sugar coated, but respectful. So now, okay, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. That's it. Now it's but you're gonna get this. You're gonna get that. Now he knows you're going to do what you're gonna do.
but I believe he's lying. I believe this is all we're gonna get. No dates, no nothing. You got all these records. Like you could have sent these if you had any intention of sending them. I would want to stop being bothered. I would send you everything. If I'm gonna do the right thing, I would have then sent you everything so I can stop being bothered with you. It's almost like they're trying to figure out how can we make up a document that looks legitimate. That's what it almost sounds like. They don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you want to say that something was not the real document. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is foolishness. This is utter foolishness at this point. Okay, I'll read it.
Yeah, read it, and then that literally, I sent it about 5 minutes later.
Where'd you send it to my phone?
I sent it to your phone. So I sent him the screenshot immediately.
Okay.
I was washing the dishes.
My phone is doing
My
something.
notifications turned up. I look over at my phone.
We're looking at live pictures right now of the president landing in Michigan. So of course, obviously, if he starts to make comments, Kevin, I'll have to jump in and cut us off. This does appear to be the governor, Gretchen Whitmer, meeting him. Clearly a very windy day there in Michigan. Kevin, the administration, the president has acknowledged that there's going to be some short-term pain here, and while I understand the argument that you are trying to make about who pays the cost of tariffs, every other Republican in the decade I spent covering the Hill was very eager to tell me that tariffs were a tax that were paid by consumers and not by anyone else. And the reality is that's part of the pain that Americans are likely to bear. So I think my question to you is, if at the end of the day, it's companies that are passing this along, how much short-term pain are voters willing to endure?
No, talking about it as pain is just absolutely incorrect. But the way to think about it is, if you think that when China entered the WTO is going to be so good because you're getting all these cheap Chinese products in America, then you would expect that Americans would be better off, that their standard of living would go up. And what we saw was after China entered the WTO for 15 years in a row, real wages declined. They were down $1,200 over the next 15 years because the cheap goods were overpowered by the reduction in labor demand and the really bad wages. President Trump came in with these. Let me finish this. President Trump came in the previous term, and he pushed policies just like these. That were supply side, that created jobs for Americans, and real wages went up by $6,500 in the next 3 years, $6,500 per year, and that's more than you got for the previous 16 years. And so what he's doing is he's taking the policies that work for the American worker, and he's just doubling down on them. And the idea that that's pain is just incorrect. He's got his eye on the horizon, and it's going to be better than the first term, for sure, because these are stronger policies now that we have even more conviction, even conviction on the Hill. We met with the congressional leaders, Scott Besson and I, yesterday, and everybody's 100% behind the president's agenda, and especially behind right now the reconciliation package that's going to deliver big tax cuts for American workers and on-shore jobs.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, I understand that. No, it's okay. I appreciate it. You're making the long-term argument, which absolutely voters also tell us they want to give Trump a chance, right? We've gone to our John King was out, talking to swing voters. And they will say, well, this might work. Some of them are willing to give him a chance. Again, that's why I said the short-term pain of this, because we also have Apollo Global, the chief economist, there said that we are facing potentially COVID-like shortages within months because of container ships that are parked in Chinese ports. Like, are Americans going to tolerate that?
We are not seeing any evidence of COVID-like shortages. The bottom line is that we had a jobs report, the last jobs report that we had, we'll get the next one on Friday, was way above expectation because American employers are creating jobs in America again. If they create jobs in America, then Americans have wages in their pockets. And I don't think that Americans want to give President Trump a chance because they like the way he looks on TV, although I think he's great on TV. They're giving President Trump a chance because they know that his policies work for them. They looked at their wallets and they voted for him, and they're looking at their wallets after President Biden's inflation. They're saying, wait, what happened? And President Trump's going in and he's going to fix the problem, and he's fixing it already. I don't think we need to talk about short-term pay. The last jobs report was fantastic.
So before I let you go, you also mentioned, of course, the reconciliation bill, and which of course is, we often shorthand it here for our viewers as Trump's agenda on the Hill. Some people call it the tax cut package. There has been a suggestion that some Republicans in Congress may be open to raising the top tax bracket rate, or rather allowing it to revert back to where it was before the old Trump tax cuts, to make that highest tax bracket rate higher than it is right now. Does the administration want Republicans on Capitol Hill to raise the top bracket rate?
No, 100% not. President Trump has made it clear that he doesn't think that that should be on the table. So it's 100% not on the table to do that. But what is on the table, I could just say, because Secretary Dustin and I, after meeting with the president, met with the Majority Leader, the Speaker of the House, and the rest of the team up there on the Hill, and it was astonishing, the agreement. And you would have to concur that it's astonishing this pace at which the tax bills are moving forward. Last time we didn't really get it until the fall, and here we are looking at maybe early summer, everything being passed. And that's really what President Trump has been able to accomplish this time, because everything is working so smoothly. You mentioned at the beginning, it was one thing I disagreed about, that you think what we've been doing is shocking. I don't think you should be shocked, because what we've been doing is exactly what President Trump promised he would do during the campaign, and now he's delivering for all of us.
All right. I will say, like that, we can agree to disagree on the level of shocking. I think that your timeline on Capitol Hill is very aggressive, and I think if you talk to Tom Tillis, you might share that particular assessment. But we'll see. I'll come back in June, and we'll talk about it. We'll see where we are. Okay, Kevin Asik, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, our panel is standing by right here in the arena. We have a lot to talk about. We've got Red Box on the other side of the
My happy place. One place I could truly be myself.
I want people to experience this beautiful, diverse city. There's no other place like it. My happy place. Sunday at 10 on CNN.
United Healthcare knows you've got your whole life ahead of you. It's nice to know you're free to focus on what matters. With reliable Medicare coverage from United Healthcare.
When they separated families, we took them to court and won. When they limited access to essential health care, we fought the bans and won. And now they're determined to reverse more of our hard-won rights and freedoms. But if they try to take away our rights, they've got to get past us. We are the American Civil Liberties Union, and we will fight any attempts to roll back our rights in the courts, in state legislatures, and in the streets. Because our freedom is worth fighting for.
When you're surrounded by oppressive laws, you can't just sit back and be oppressed. You get up and fight. And all of us at the ACLU are fighting for you.
Right now, the ACLU's work is more important than ever. So please, call or go online to myaclu.org today. All it takes is just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, to become a guardian of liberty and help defend our freedoms. Years of hard-fought protections for freedom of speech, protest, dissent, LGBTQ rights, and abortion rights are under attack. The ACLU is fighting in the courts and advocating in all 50 states to ensure that all of us can exercise our rights. But we need your support now. So please, call the ACLU or go to myaclu.org and join us for just $19 a month. And when you use your credit card, you'll receive this special We the People t-shirt and more to show you're helping protect the rights of all people.
As an individual, donating to the ACLU is one of the most powerful things you can do to fight for justice.
Together, we are a force to be reckoned with. So please, join us today. Call now or go online to myaclu.org. They've got to get past us, all of us.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel. Clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
Why do couples choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
I need help with their snoring.
Sleep Number does that.
Thank you.
And now get early access to Memorial Day deals. Save 30% on our most popular smart bed. Shop a Sleep Number store near you.
The biggest festival of the year is here. CNN_Deals Fest. With the ultimate lineup of products and exclusive deals for home, beauty, cooking, and more. CNN_Deals Fest. Shop now at underscore.com/dealsfest. Savings are blossoming during Sheehy Toyota's spring sales event. Hurry in today and choose from hundreds of new Toyotas. Sheehy makes car buying easy and affordable with special low-rate financing. Plus, get the most for your current vehicle when you sell or trade in. Discover how Sheehy Toyota of Laurel makes car buying and trading easy during our spring sales event.
This Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi is booming like a
10x double unicorn IPO.
3 feet sideways. It's bursting with Wi-Fi.
Well, everyone who knows a boom when they see it is going to want to see it.
The Wi-Fi's booming.
Watch The Lead today at 5 on CNN.
Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my #1 choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference.
Anyone surprised President Trump cracked that joke? I'm not. He was just leaving Washington, D.C. for Michigan, where he'll soon speak to mark his 100th day in office. In those, as we were discussing before, fast-paced 100 days, President Trump, who is, of course, already the most ubiquitous world figure without the title of Pope, has fundamentally transformed the world order in nearly every sense. We were just walking through all of it. My panel is here. CNN contributor, New York Times journalist, podcast host Lulu Garcia-Navarro, White House reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Annie Linsky, CNN political commentator, Xochitl Hinojosa, and former campaign manager for Donald Trump, Bill Stepien. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Bill, I'm actually going to start with you. I want to get to Annie is our beat reporter on the set, and she has kind of borne the brunt of the pace of what we've seen. But I do want to start with you to kind of help us understand a little bit of, and obviously covered the whole campaign. We all did. We watched what Donald Trump promised, and I take Kevin Hassett's point that some of it should not be shocking to people because the president told people what he was going to do. But that doesn't mean that the scale and scope of it is not different from, I think, what certainly some voters are telling us. This is beyond what they thought that they were, more than what they bargained for, right? They wanted them to lower their costs, make their lives a little better. This is a lot. But especially the sort of foundational shaking of our economic system seems to be something that wasn't necessarily bargained for. Do you think we should have bargained for it?
I think it's a sad state of affairs if we're surprised that someone who campaigned on exactly these things is doing these things. There is nothing he's done or said that is different than the campaign trail. This is, to a T, things he campaigned on.
Even like 145% tariffs on China, right?
Well, I mean, look, first term, he doubled collected tariffs. And despite
share
COVID,
and subscribe, share and subscribe, share and subscribe.
So things take time to settle.
Like, hate, comment.
Populist,
Google Erik Powery on Bing and Yahoo.
Just like they
All
did
my
in the
social
first
media
term.
pop up.
I'm
Print
gonna
out my
take him at his
essays
word
too.
that he
Print
can
out my
deliver again in the
platforms.
second term, like
Print
they
out
did
my
in the first.
essays that I
So the
wrote
other problem
with
is
my
that he also
political
promised to bring down
platforms and
prices,
political
and that is one of
positions
the reasons
and
why
political
Democrats lost. People were not
ideas. You know what I'm
feeling
saying?
the
I'm
economic
running on a
gains. They believe
$29.50 an
that
hour
Trump,
minimum
who is
wage.
known as a deal maker,
Reforming the
he likes to talk about
tax
cutting
code.
deals, that maybe
33%
this
sales
man
tax
can actually get us to
for
a
the
place
global
where I am
super
doing
rich.
better in my life.
Because
And right now, based
we
on
don't just
polling,
have a spending
CNN
problem.
polling, and
We
across
have
the
first and
board,
foremost, we
people
have
are not
a
feeling
revenue
that.
collection problem.
For the Republican
Rich
Party,
people and
one big
corporations and
question
mega
is
churches don't
Democrats
pay
have their
taxes,
stimulus
man.
thing, which was the
They
withdrawal
don't pay
of
no
Afghanistan.
taxes.
After
And
that,
the brunt always
Joe Biden
falls
can never
on
really come back.
the middle class
And
wage
I do
earner
think
or
that this is one
the
of these
lower
moments
middle class
that if
wage
the
earner.
American people
You
don't
know,
feel
so we
lower
gotta get that
prices
together, brother.
and how this
Gotta get that
administration
together, brother.
is impacting them for the better, then I think this hurts Republicans in the long term.
Annie Linsky, you have
Subscribe
been
to my
in the
YouTube
office
channel,
a
too.
number of times, I believe for the Zelensky meeting.
Like, hate, comment.
You have seen this.
Hit the bell
up
for
close.
notifications.
You understand kind of the difference in pace between the Biden administration, the Trump administration. What stands out to you? What are you reflecting on at this 100-day mark?
Yeah. I mean, the pace, and I definitely relate to the idea of aging in office. I feel like I've aged quite a bit in the last 100 days. But setting that aside, I think when you look at the major pieces that Trump has unveiled and the major changes that he has made, one through line for me is the concentration of power in the West Wing and in the White House. And I think that's true when you look at the tariffs. Suddenly the president is making these deals. It's true when you look at DOGE. Suddenly the president in the West Wing is making decisions that Congress is used to making. It's true with immigration. It's been true also with institutions like the universities and, quite frankly, even law firms, where the president has sort of expanding his power even beyond government into private entities. And you saw a little flavor of that with Amazon today. So to me, that has been the sort of theme that is drawn together a lot of the turbulence that you described in the beginning.
Yeah, I hear Republicans a lot talk about, promises made, promises kept. He campaigned on this. He certainly did. There is no question. And the people shouldn't be surprised. However, what I'll say is this. Most people hear one thing and expect another. So when you say, I'm going to put tariffs on, what they hear is, my life is going to be made better, there's going to be more jobs, and there's going to be more money in my pocket. They don't actually get into the minutia of what that actually will look like. And I think people, to use your word, have been shocked by how quickly things have been done and also how little consensus there's been. If you think about the fact that he has made so many executive orders, but very little has been passed through the Congress. So this is, as you were saying, something that is very, very, very much centered around Donald Trump.
Yeah. All right, we unfortunately we have to go. We're keeping an eye on the state of Michigan, where Donald Trump is going to speak live. We're going to look at what voters are saying ahead of the rally tonight, and we're going to be joined live by Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell.
This is incredible. I mean, look at this. Wow, this is like my kind of living. It takes your breath away. You're just like, where am I? I love how much history is hidden in something as simple as tapas. There is so much pride in the history of all of the people who have passed through this region.
Eva Longoria, Searching for Spain, Sunday at 9 on CNN. Sadly, windshield chips can turn into windshield cracks. But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Sweet.
SafeLight can come to you for free. And our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home.
Safe light, safe light.
Don't wait. Go to SafeLight.com and schedule now.
Safe light repair, safe light replace.
Progressive makes it easy to see if you can save money with a commercial auto quote online, so you can get back to your monster to-do list.
Super helpful.
See if you can save money at progressivecommercial.com.
Thank you.
As a neurologist, my patients are often concerned with age-related memory decline. I recommend Cunol Brain Health with 2 powerful, high-absorption ingredients clinically shown to improve memory, focus, attention, and more. Cunol, the brand I trust.
The famous Lumber Liquidators April sale is going on now. 4 days only, ends Tuesday, April 29th. The time is now for new flooring. Get incredible deals at Lumber Liquidators. Small lots of hardwood flooring from 25 cents a square foot. Waterproof flooring from 69 cents a square foot. 5-inch pre-finished hardwood flooring from a major brand for a crazy price of $149 a square foot. All in stock Bellawood is 99 cents off. Hurry, it all ends April 29th. Go to lumberliquidators.com or visit your nearest store.
Sarah Benzino, Brandon Coley, Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
What did she call Hartford?
Oh, you mean Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
We actually sold the twins naming rights.
You know, like stadiums do. Kids are so expensive these days. Here he comes.
Oasis Breeze Tan and Spa.
You need a tan? I'm your man. To do business with you.
Or we can look at some investment options for you.
Works for us.
The right money moves aren't as absurd as you think.
Hi.
Chocolate fundraiser. With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
At Drive Time, you can get approved on your phone, shop for cars on your phone, and
Wait, the deal I want on the car I want.
And the deal you make on your phone is a deal you pay at the real Drive Time dealership.
I'm gonna go buy that car.
Get in there. This is a commercial. Go get your real deal at drivetime.com.
Is your house less than perfect? I'm Dan with Market Pro Home Buyers. If you're considering selling your house, I hope you'll take advantage of our as-is guaranteed cash offer. There are no agent commissions and no repairs. You can close in a few weeks or a few months. We even help pay for packing and moving expenses. So choose a home buying company you can trust. Visit marketprohomebuyers.com and call us today at 301-685-0889.
gear up your crew in a Grand Highlander. Here to handle it all. With room for the whole family. And comfortable amenities from back to front. Plus connected tech, all with unmistakable Toyota performance and style. Right now, buy a Grand Highlander with special low APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Ben Wiedemann in Rome, and this CNN.
All right, live pictures from the Selfridge Air National Guard base. It's in Michigan. This is where the president is speaking before the Michigan National Guard. We're going to listen to that, bring you any news. Of course, if he takes questions, we're going to bring that straight to you. But in the meantime, let's talk to CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent Jeff Zeleny. He's in Warren, Michigan. The president is going to be speaking there tonight to mark 100 days. And of course, Jeff, this state really encapsulates, perhaps more than any location, why Donald Trump ended up becoming president in 2016, why he's president again. And I know you spent the day talking to Michigan voters. What are they saying about the beginning of this presidency?
Casey, there is no doubt that Macomb County, just north of Detroit, really the heart of the blue-collar working class automotive workers, but also so many supply chains that feed into that. This was the heart of the Trump base, the MAGA movement, if you will. A generation or two ago, they were Reagan Democrats. But talking to voters here now, Trump supporters and detractors alike, yes, the supporters like what they see on immigration, but there is much more concern about the economy. But this whiplash of on-again, off-again tariff proposals, the president, again, putting a reprieve on some of the automakers, some of those auto tariffs coming in, they're being met with support by some and questions by others.
I'm somebody who's interested in politics, and I feel exhausted from it at some point. But I will also say that, you know, maybe for the first time in 4 years, I don't have a feeling of dread.
How is he going to get there from here to there? I think he needs to do a better job of explaining how that's going to be done.
And that was John Wallace right there. We talked to him in Mount Clemens, Michigan, here in Macomb County. Casey, he was very interesting, really echoed what several Trump voters have said he voted for Trump 3 times. He said he has no regrets, but he has deep concern about the uncertainty that these tariffs have created. He has deep uncertainty and concern about the financial markets, retirement accounts, etc. So as we hit this 100-day mark, we didn't find as much buyer's remorse among some Trump voters as just wanting him to do better. Perhaps wanting him to do somewhat less in terms of the chaos that they've seen, but on the economy, the anxieties of the economy is something that is very, very real here. Our polls have shown it, our conversations did as well. Casey?
All right, Jeff Zeleny for us in Michigan. Jeff, thanks very much for being with us. And joining us now to discuss further is Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan. Congresswoman, it's always wonderful to have you. And of course, I think most of our regular viewers know this, but for people who don't, you are someone who just really understands the dynamics of your state, the voters in your state, and why, when Hillary Clinton was running against Donald Trump, you thought she wasn't going to win, and you weren't necessarily listened to. I'm really interested to know what you think, since you do spend so much time with your voters back at home, what it is you are hearing from those voters in Michigan who have gone back and forth between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and whether they are still giving Donald Trump a chance on these economic policies that are, of course, really deeply affecting the automotive industry that Michigan so relies on.
So, Casey, I think Michigan's a very complicated place right now. What Jeff told you about in Macomb County and some of the union halls is very much what I hear. I go in, I've had workers come and tell me finally somebody is doing something, and they feel very strongly after Detroit destroyed their jobs and Donald Trump's fighting for them. But I also hear a great deal of concern, worried about their job. There have been layoffs, people are on temporary layoffs, and they're very much concerned about increased prices from what the tariffs are going to do to their daily consumer costs. The industry itself, the supplier industry, the dealers, they're just playing, they don't want to be a pong ball. They don't want to get in Donald Trump's, they don't want to be a target. They want certainty. They want to be successful. They want to keep this industry strong. And you cannot overnight just, snap a switch and build a new plan. And the tariffs for the last few months have been total chaos. You don't know what's going to be in place 3 weeks from now. There are new plans that'll be talked about today. But businesses, all businesses, small and large, need certainty, and they don't have the certainty right now. And I also want to say, while we're talking about that piece of the business, we also have a lot of anger. The town halls, and I have done many because I don't hide, people are really angry. They're as angry at Democrats as they are at Republicans. They're concerned about the uncertainty. They don't want to know they don't know what's going to happen. They want to see people fighting. They're afraid for their liberties that we take for granted as part of our democracy, due process and freedom of speech. They're worried about the economy, and they're just worried. And a lot of people who didn't vote last November are now saying, oh, there are consequences. Michigan is Michigan, and there are a lot of intense
Congresswoman, I'm glad you mentioned that people are unhappy with Democrats as well. This new polling that we just put out today here from CNN shows that 72% of Americans disapprove of Democratic congressional leaders. That's 10 points more than the 62% who say that they disapprove of Republican congressional leaders. And this, of course, has been the subject of much debate already in the party about how to push back. And I wanted to play something for you that the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, said at a speech in New Hampshire, of course, the longtime, maybe not future, but longtime First in the Nation primary state. Let's watch this and we'll talk about it on the other side. Take a look.
We need to knock off the rust of poll-tested language, decades of stale decorum. It's obscured our better instincts. We have to abandon the culture of incrementalism that has led us to swallow the cruelty and the callousness with barely a cowardly croak.
Congressman, do you think he's right? And why are people so unhappy with Democrats?
So let me, I went back and read the op-ed I wrote for the Washington Post in 2016 when I was right, and you will recall, widely denounced by everybody when I said Hillary was in trouble and she wasn't going to win. And I think I respect the governor, and by the way, I don't think New Hampshire should have a lock-in going first, and it's why we need a middle of America state that reflects the diversity to be the first. Yeah, well, I don't care. It can be another one, but I'm not giving up that fight either. But, I go in union halls. I go to farmers markets. I go in schools. I go on college campuses. I meet with the veterans. I make sure I'm in those places every single weekend. Democrats don't do a good job of listening. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We need to hear what people are telling us. We can't let ourselves get caught in these issues that people try to put us in a corner on. People are worried about the economy. They're worried about issues at their kitchen table, about whether their job is safe, whether they can buy a home, whether they're going to be safe, they can educate their kids, go to the doctor when they're sick, afford the medicine they want, and have a safe and secure retirement. That's what we need to be talking about. That's what they want to talk about. And we need to be authentic. We need to just be talking. I don't like all these fancy words either. My pollster always, I don't believe in polling. You know what I've said about polling.
If you have a pollster, they probably yell at you a lot.
He does. He always says that he's glad that I didn't attack him by my name. And but we got to get out there and just be where real people are and listen to what they're saying. And by the way, I'm not sure Republicans are really in those real places either. I think Donald Trump, I mean, that's why I said he'd win in 2016. He understands the people's fears and he plays to them. But now, by the way, a lot of people are afraid again. Where are we going? What is happening to their retirement accounts? What is going to happen to their health care? I have a lot of people crying.
All right, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, it's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you'll come back soon.
Thank you.
All right, coming up this time, not a perfect phone call, but a good one who the president's talking to at about this time.
Evil Longoria searching for Spain, Sunday at 9 on CNN.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
Introducing genre packs starting at $34.99.
Well, I for one am intrigued.
Liberty. Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance. Liberty.
Hey kid, it's pronounced Liberty.
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 Now she's mocking me. Very mature.
Hey, that's the nephew too.
Hey, I'm not the one acting like a total baby.
She's two.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty. Liberty. Let's get you home. Country roads.
Paying your rent should count for something. With rent rewards from Rocket Mortgage, your rent counts towards buying a home. Helping turn more renters into owners. Get started at rocket.com.
Do it all with Steel Battery. Don't miss Steel deals. Now is the best time to save big on over 40 hardworking Steel tools. Hurry into your local Steel dealer or shop online.
My heart has experienced life-changing wins, losses, and countless miles. To keep living at my speed, I trust Qunol CoQ10. CoQ10 is the #1 cardiologist-recommended supplement for heart health. Qunol, the brand I trust.
I'm already pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan.
I better teach her about down payments.
I put in a low down payment, but look at all these cars.
I can still help.
Think. Mom? Yes, dear? Could you give me a ride to the Carvana vending machine?
Of course, my love.
Finance and buy your car on Carvana today.
Oh, pizza!
We're trapped by dishes.
Don't worry, they've got new Dawn Power Suds. It'll power through this whole pile with ease.
Yeah, it's the dish soap with 2 times more powerful suds.
Lucky ducks.
Dawn's first suds that trap, lock, and remove 99% of grease.
So it doesn't get passed from dish to dish.
Ooh, clean and stacked.
Like ducks in a row.
Good one.
New Dawn Power Suds, the better grease getter.
For the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura in adults, Nurtec ODT can provide relief in 2 hours, which can last up to 2 days. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after use, like trouble breathing and rash. Get help if you have trouble breathing, swelling of the face, mouth, tongue, or throat. Common side effect is nausea. Ask your doctor about Nurtec ODT.
Hi, Scott here. Let's go hear from more citizens of the law. That's a great law.
He only listens to your tips.
Because it's my baby. You gotta feed your lawn. Feed it.
Feed it, feed it.
The consistency is everything.
Scott's weed and feed. The product is incredible. Look how thick my lawn is.
And a thick lawn is the enemy of weeds.
Our life is complicated. Our lawn, simple.
Kill existing weeds and thicken your lawn all spring with Dirt Builder Weed and Feed.
Feed it, lawn. Feed it.
Closed captioning brought to you by Skechers Arch Fit Slip-ins.
People love Arch Fit technology so much that Skechers put it into even more hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Just step in with no bending down or touching. Try Arch Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Well, I hadn't planned to speak, but on behalf of all of the military men and women who serve our country and serve so honorably on behalf of the state of Michigan, I am really damn happy we're here to celebrate this recapitalization at Selfridge. It's crucial for the Michigan economy, it's crucial for the men and women here, for our homeland security and our future. So thank you. I'm so grateful that this announcement was made today. And I appreciate all the work. Thank you. Pretty remarkable moment right there. That just happened. President Trump is at Selfridge Air National Guard base. It's in Michigan, and they needed more money than they had in order to stay open. And what was playing out there was another interesting interplay between the governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and the president of the United States, Donald Trump. She, of course, a likely candidate for president in 2028. How do we get here? You may remember this moment in the Oval Office where Governor Gretchen Whitmer was unexpectedly invited to a meeting where reporters were covering, Trump was signing executive orders that she said she later didn't agree with. They were taking on 2 Biden officials, or former Trump officials, I should say, Miles Taylor and Chris Krebs, in a personal way. So she had to put out that statement, and she didn't want her photograph taken. Quite a difficult moment for anyone. Donald Trump also spoke about Whitmer just a few moments ago and had praise for her. Let's watch that.
Governor, who has done a very good job. She came to see me. That's the reason she came to see me, by the way, to save Selfridge. And she was very effective, along with some of the other politicians and some of the military people. They love this place. They love what it stands for, all the victories they've had here over the years. So I want to thank Governor Gretchen Whitmer for bringing it also to our attention very strongly. And I'm not supposed to do that. She's a Democrat. They say, don't do that. Don't have her here. I said, no, she's going to be here. She's done a very good job, frankly, and she was very much involved with the Republicans. They worked together on saving it, and it was not easy. So I want to thank you very much, Gretchen. Good job. Thank you.
Annie Linsky. Really interesting, very much, about the past and the future of presidential primaries.
Absolutely. I mean, in that moment, you're seeing both politicians getting something out of the exchange. I mean, Gretchen Whitmer is showing that, Donald Trump won her state. So she is showing, that she can get along with Donald Trump and has no problem working with him when it makes sense. And then, Donald Trump is about to go to Capitol Hill, and he certainly may need some Democrats. And we've been talking a lot about his poll numbers. He's showing the sort of more charming, personable side of himself, the more forgiving side of himself in that moment. So yeah, it's both sides. 2028. I mean, this, by the way, will be used for both sides. This will be used by Democrats who want to run against her, saying, look, she bent the knee, she went to Trump, look, she was even hiding in the Oval Office. And then there are people who will be using this as an example of she's a deal maker, she worked with him, and as a way to win over soft Republicans. So, you know.
I think this is a good thing for her. CNN's polling also shows that people are very frustrated with politics nowadays, and if she can show that she is getting something out of this administration, when many of the people who will, if she decides to run for president, who will be running against her are going to be potential former mayors, cabinet officials, and senators who can't say that they have the track record that she does in a battleground state. And so she can come out of this saying, I delivered with a Republican president, a Republican Congress, and I have done X, Y, Z. Yes, her opponents will absolutely.
I'm not clear how that's going to go in a primary.
But that's fair. That's fair.
That's where I'm at.
That's fair.
I know it's smart for him. I'm not sure it's smart for her. If we talked about Trump's poll numbers before, do more of that. Get out of DC, stand with troops, deliver for a swing state, stand with a Democrat female governor. Do more of that.
Yeah, I don't know where Democrats are going to be in 2028. They might be furious, and they might not want to be seeing Gretchen Whitmer with Trump.
All right. Coming up next, what in the last 100 days has made you and our panelists say, "I'm sorry"? What? We say it every day here. We'll bring you back.
To understand the world, you need the truth.
This is the largest measles outbreak in 30 years.
That's why we follow the facts wherever they lead. For the inside story. Their lives now are forever changed.
President Trump is serious about the threats that he's making.
To an outside perspective, we follow what matters to you, forging a path to the truth and a better understanding of our world.
3 meetings and 3 stops today. There's just never enough time. If you've ever considered flying private jets, you have to check out One Flight's badge. The badge makes searching and booking private jets as simple as booking a hotel. Just type in your location and find the closest airport. Then choose from over 4,000 jets in one place. When I land, there's always a car waiting for me, courtesy of One Flight. What's your time worth?
Call for a complimentary flight.
The famous Lumber Liquidators April sale is going on now. 4 days only, ends Tuesday, April 29th. The time is now for new flooring. Get incredible deals at Lumber Liquidators. Small lots of hardwood flooring from 25 cents a square foot. Waterproof flooring from 69 cents a square foot. 5-inch pre-finished hardwood flooring from a major brand for a crazy price of $149 a square foot. All in stock Bellawood is 99 cents off. Hurry, it all ends April 29th. Go to lumberliquidators.com or visit your nearest store.
Lactate is 100% real milk, just without the lactose. Delicious, too. Just ask my old friend Kevin.
Nothing like enjoying a cold one while watching the game. Who's winning?
We are, my friend. We are.
Our brains are incredible, but memory can get complicated. That's why we created new Nariva Memory 3D. It supports your short-term, long-term, and working memory. Take it from me. An elephant never forgets. Remember Nariva.
Oh God, we gotta choose this time.
So, Mom, I have to get...
Friends?
Okay, lady.
Alright.
Okay, bye.
Love you. Alright, let's get you caught up. What time? Seriously? How'd you do this? No. I know. It's all your favorite. We're gonna look left. Right. Let's go.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel, clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
At Fisher Investments, we may look like other money managers, but we're different.
How so?
We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our clients' best interest. So we don't sell any commission-based products.
Then how do you make money?
We have a simple management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority by getting to know their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more.
Wow.
Maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
At Staten, your time matters. We provide an 88-point inspection on your HVAC system, keeping you comfortable year-round. No gimmicks, just great service.
Stop waiting, call Station.
Relief hotline, tell us where it hurts. Toe fungus. No, that won't cure it. You need Fungi-Cure. Fungi-Cure doesn't just mask toe fungus, it cures it. No, you don't have to send me a photo. Oh, Kobayashi Healthcare. If it hurts, we help.
If your bath has seen a lot of life, nobody gives it new life like Bath Fitter. Whatever shape your bath is in, Bath Fitter will transform it. When it's time to give your bath new life, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
At Staten, your time matters. We provide an 88-point inspection on your HVAC system, keeping you comfortable year-round. No gimmicks, just great service.
Stop waiting, call Station. Watch The Lead, next on CNN.
All right, to wrap up today, we wanted to ask the panel, what was the moment in these past 100 days that made you say, I'm sorry, what? Lulu, you first.
It started at the inauguration, all the tech titans lined up there, celebrating with him, having their spouses there when even members of Congress didn't. It said to me, it was a different thing.
Annie?
For me, it was when Elon Musk, the guy who spent $250 million of his own money trying to get, successfully getting Trump elected, had to pay $10 million to settle a lawsuit many believe was frivolous.
Hegseth is sharing classified information on Signal twice, and he still has a job? Shocker.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
It's not Gulf of America or his head on Mount Rushmore or Greenland or paper straws or the signs on the White House lawn. It's that the Democrats keep taking the bait on the distractions. It's amazing to me.
Are you really surprised?
Not really.
That's what I thought. All right, Jake Tapper is standing by for the lead. Jake, nice to see you. I don't know if you want to add to our little chat here, or I'm sure you're about to cover the top 100 days.
We're going to cover the top 100 days. I can't outdo your panel. They did a great job there. But thanks so much. We'll see you back in the arena tomorrow.
We'll see you soon.
Sources telling CNN that a pissed President Trump personally phoned Amazon's Jeff Bezos today. The lead starts right now. When the trade wars hit home, President Trump's call to the founder and executive chair of Amazon peeved that the company would consider displaying the cost of tariffs on Amazon's spin-off cheaper goods Amazon Haul website. The latest drama as President Trump gets ready to officially mark 100 days in office in Michigan. Also ahead, divided on politics, united on the need to talk. A Republican and a Democrat will do so here before they travel to El Salvador, where Trump is deporting so many undocumented immigrants. Plus, paging Dr. Gupta, we're paging him to examine the impact of Trump's health policies, vaccines and chronic disease, banning food dyes on children's health. Welcome to the lead. I'm Jake Tapper. We're going to start our politics lead in less than an hour. President Trump is expected to take the stage in the state of Michigan to mark the 100th day of his second term. As the president looks to celebrate this moment, we want to tick through some of the more momentous events of these last few months. There was the Rose Garden event that Trump dubbed Liberation Day, in which he announced a slew of tariffs on nearly 90 countries. That sent global markets tumbling and left many U.S. business owners confused about the impact for their own companies, while the president insists lots of good deals are being negotiated because of that day. There is DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency, where Elon Musk aimed to take a, quote, chainsaw to the federal workforce. At least 121,000 federal employees have been laid off or targeted for layoffs by DOGE so far in an attempt to dramatically reshape the size and workforce of the federal government. It has been 8 weeks since that heated Oval Office meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. Trump and his vice president, J.D. Vance, publicly berating Zelensky for not being more appreciative of American support. The confrontation left a strained relationship between the two countries. Both are still trying to mend it as the U.S. works to broker a peace deal to end Russia's war with Ukraine. There is, of course, fighting illegal immigration. The president invoked a wartime law to deport hundreds of undocumented migrants to a prison in El Salvador. 142,000 others have been deported, actions that in some cases have raised questions of due process. that have led to a showdown with the judicial branch, though this is an issue, we should note, where the president currently enjoys some of his strongest public support. I could go on. These actions have reshaped world trade, U.S. alliances, the financial stability of the country and the federal workforce. And overall, a new CNN poll underscores Americans are, a majority of them, not happy with these changes. We'll have more of that in a moment. But let's start with CNN's Jeff Zeleny, who's live for us in Warren, Michigan, in Macomb County, north of Detroit, where President Trump is set to speak in a little bit. Jeff, what are you expecting to hear in the next hour?
Well, Jake, we expect President Trump to take an early victory lap. The signs here at this rally really spell that out, saying 100 days of greatness. But we've been spending some time here talking to voters who supported President Trump and those who did not.
And subscribe.
Really across the board, there are more questions than expressions of greatness. Even among Trump supporters, we talked about the economic anxieties they are experiencing in their daily lives came through loud and clear. But it's the whipsaw effect of the on-again, off-again tariff program that came up again and again in our conversations that show the 100 days is far too early to judge a presidency. Pashko Weekai is still waiting for the economy to catch fire. He's owned the Dodge Creek Coney Island Diner for more than 2 decades, and this year hasn't been easy for him or his customers.
The economy is probably number one on people's minds. You know, they want to be able to afford the gas, afford food, groceries.
President Trump is just down the road today, marking his 100th day in office with a visit.
Last year when President Trump was in Michigan campaigning a lot, he's going to bring prices down.
Slash your prices, raise your wages.
Does it feel better? Does it feel about the same?
It doesn't right now, but is it going to be better? I always like to think positive.
He's more optimistic than a majority of Americans, according to a new CNN poll, 59% of whom say Trump's policies have made the economy worse. He doesn't need a poll to tell him what his dining room already does.
People, for example, might instead of coming out 3-4 times a week, might only come out 2 times.
Trump wouldn't be back in the White House without winning working-class strongholds like Macomb by 14 points, which helped seal a statewide victory and a sweep of all battlegrounds.
I just wish that the message was clear on where he's going with the tariffs.
John Wallace, an Army veteran and retired auto worker, has voted for Trump 3 times, but is not sold on his economic policy.
The implementation is a little choppy, for lack of a better term.
On again, off again.
Correct. Stating a certain goal one day, raising them, lowering them. I think that would settle a lot of the turmoil right now, especially with the stock market.
We won Michigan by a lot, and I want to just thank you all.
When the president rolled out his plan in the Rose Garden, Chris Vitale traveled from Michigan to be there. He retired after 31 years at Chrysler and supports Trump's tariffs, changes and all.
The tariffs in effect got people's attention and brought them to the negotiation table, which is probably the goal all along.
For Michael Taylor, mayor of Sterling Heights, Michigan, the uncertainty of it all is troubling.
Business owners, they really struggle when they don't have a certain landscape ahead of them. And these tariffs have created chaos in that regard.
The president's trade war with China has come alive at the Rendezvous with Tea, where Nazarene Gibson imports tea from around the world.
Businesses like mine are going to struggle and may not even exist because we cannot afford to pay those kind of prices and absorb it into our little business.
Back at the diner, Weekai believes the 100-day mark is too early to make a judgment on Trump.
If he puts this economy back on track and wins these tariffs to our advantage, I think people will feel more comfortable.
And if he doesn't?
If he doesn't, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
And Jake, Pashko's Diner is just a few miles down the road from where President Trump is going to be at this rally here tonight. Many people are still coming in, and they'll be filling the seats here. But he voted for Trump in 2016, did not in 20, and wouldn't say who he voted for in 2024. But that sentiment is also very clear. The bottom line here, Jake, the economy is something that swept the president into office, and it's going to be a big metric and measure for the rest of his term and certainly the next 100 days. Jake.
All right, Jeff Zeleny in Warren, Michigan. Thanks so much. Let's turn now to CNN's Caitlin Collins. And Caitlin, another big moment today was the Trump administration calling Amazon's reported plan to display tariff costs online on one of its websites hostile and political. Where does that back and forth with Jeff Bezos and Amazon, where does it stand now?
I mean, Jake, it has been a remarkable 100th day for this president, because it started with this briefing that was happening at the White House. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, was there, the Press Secretary, Caroline Leavitt, but everyone was talking about this report that Amazon was going to start showing the impact of the president's tariffs on its prices when people were checking out, essentially saying, here's what you paid for this product and here's what it cost because of the tariffs that the president has put in place. And so Caroline Leavitt said she had just gotten off the phone with President Trump this morning about that. She called it a hostile and political act. They questioned why this was not something Amazon had considered doing when President Biden was in office and inflation was at such a high number. And then culminated from there in the president directly calling Jeff Bezos to ask about this proposal. Amazon quickly came out and denied it, said they were not considering it for the main Amazon storefront. It had been something that had been considered somewhere else. They updated that statement to say it was something that they were never going to put in place. And then we heard from President Trump directly as he was on his way to Michigan, where Jeff Zeleny is now, about exactly what happened in this phone call with Jeff Bezos. And this is what the president had to say.
How did your call with Jeff Bezos? Great. Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly, and he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
Now, Jake, obviously, just hearing that in and of itself is remarkable, because given if this had happened 8 years ago, when the president's relationship with Jeff Bezos was probably at its worst, when he was openly criticizing him for the coverage that he would often get in the Washington Post-owned newspaper, the paper owned by Bezos. But obviously things have changed in their relationship. After the president was nearly assassinated last summer, you saw Bezos coming out praising the president's response. Then after the president won the election, they had dinner together at Mar-a-Lago. They've often spoken since his win. And of course, Bezos attended his inauguration. But it is a remarkable moment to see how the White House is responding to this idea that the White House could be dealing with companies that are actually showing consumers here in the United States what the price difference is as an impact of the president's tariffs, which are very much still in place and really becoming a defining moment as he hits these 100 days, Jake.
All right, Caitlin Collins, fascinating stuff. Thank you. And of course, Caitlin will have a deeper look at the president's first 100 days tonight on her show, The Source with Caitlin Collins, among her guests, Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma, Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. That's tonight at 9 Eastern, only here on CNN. Let's talk about this all with former advisor for the Trump 24 campaign, Brian Lanza, and Democratic strategist and CNN political commentator, Karen Finney. Brian, CNN has some new poll numbers out, and they basically square with other poll numbers. 59% of Americans feel Trump has worsened economic conditions. 37% of Americans say they feel afraid. 29% say they're pessimistic about the economy. And like I said, these are replicated in other polls. How concerned are you? Do you think this is just a short-term thing?
I think it's a short-term thing. Listen, I think we know in politics that voters ultimately make their decision about the economy of July of an election year. So we have 14 months. The president has 14 months to transition us. These trade deals need to take place. Some of these tariffs, some of these countries and some of these companies are coming in asking for tariffs incentives, which is the new word instead of exemptions. And I think that engagement is going to have a positive impact. You've seen some of the impact already happen when President Trump talked about having these negotiations with countries. I represent some of those countries he's having negotiations with. They all very happy with the progress it's making. And there's an accelerated part of this that we hadn't seen before. And we see that from a CEO standpoint, where he wants things done now and the staff is trying to catch up. And I think we'll see that. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, Trump's not a process person. The process is sloppy here in D.C. We see it all the time, and people want to focus on that. But at the end of the day, where he wants to land is he wants to land, make sure we have tax reconciliation take place, we have deregulation, and if we get those things done by July of next year, we'll be in strong cases for midterms.
Karen Finney, let's listen to what President Trump had to say when asked about his list of accomplishments during his first 100 days.
The economy would be certainly right up there, and I think it's doing great. We were losing billions and billions of dollars a day with trade, and now I have that down to a very low level, and soon we're going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah, that doesn't jive with any numbers anywhere. Let's start with the Wall Street Journal last week saying worst April since the Great Depression.
Worst April in terms of what?
the economy.
Well, the Wall Street, the stock market, not the economy. There is a distinction between the two.
Fair.
The Dow, okay.
The Dow. But at the same time, we also saw stories around Easter with people saying they were looking for alternatives to eggs because eggs were so expensive. Look, at the end of the day, I agree with Brian, although I think Trump is making a mistake very similar to what Joe Biden did, which is people are telling you they're scared. They're telling you they're concerned that it's not getting better on the number one issue.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with Trump is it's not just, he may be doing these deals, but at the same time, it's the way his erratic behavior has really spooked markets. And I think it's going to be a long time before people see the impact in their own lives. Most importantly, I think Democrats are seizing on this opportunity to have a conversation. We saw it on Sunday. I think we're going to continue to see conversations trying to lift up what the American people are saying themselves about their concerns about the economy and potential budget cuts.
So I'm coming to you right now, Brian, but I want to play this new clip. President Trump sat down with our friend Terry Moran from ABC News, and this is how the president responded when pressed about the tariffs with China.
145% tariffs on China, and that is basically an embargo. They deserve it. It'll raise prices on everything from electronics to clothing to building houses. You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it. That's mathematics. China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States.
Even today, though, China said that they're not going to kneel down to Trump. This is a big area of concern for a lot of people who import products from China.
Yeah, but listen, I think it's important to step back to see what President Trump wants to do with respect to tariffs. And tariffs is just a tool for him to get to what we ultimately want to do, was to reindustrialize the United States. Because what he said in 2014 when he first stood up, and where you had both politicians on the left and the right sort of disagree with him, he said, the status quo is not working for American communities. We've seen communities gutted in Ohio, we've seen communities gutted in Michigan, we've seen communities gutted in Wisconsin through these trade agreements that have taken place. President Trump says this is not acceptable. We need to do something.
But he's not being honest with the American people about how much pain they will have to endure before, even if you believe his position on tariffs, it's going to take quite a bit of time to bring those jobs back, to build those factories.
But it's important to do it. It's
how
important.
much pain in the meantime, and easy to say when you're a billionaire who won't be impacted.
Listen, I think the voters voted on President Trump because he wanted to do these things. They accept that. They understand. This is they look at his first term. They saw the effects of tariffs in his first term. They see positive results, if not result in the first term.
I don't think we're going to resolve this right now.
No, I think not.
I appreciate both of you so much. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Happy 100 days, Brian.
Thank you so much.
And to you, Karen, I guess maybe not, but much more as we stand by to hear from the president of Michigan. Plus, what you may not know about crypto and President Trump's dealings with the digital currency. I'm going to talk to the New York Times reporters who say Trump's policy changes now could help him and his family make quite a bit of bank later. But first, the House Republican and the Democrat will both join me ahead of their bipartisan trip to El Salvador.
We're finally opening.
Shingles doesn't care, but Shingrix protects. Only Shingrix is proven over 90% effective. Shingrix is a vaccine used to prevent shingles in adults 50 years and older. Shingrix doesn't protect everyone and isn't for those with severe allergic reactions to its ingredients or to a previous dose. Tell your healthcare provider if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome was observed after getting Shingrix. Fainting can happen, so take precautions. Most common side effects are pain, redness and swelling or injected muscle pain, tiredness, headache, shivering fever, and upset stomach. Ask your doctor about Shingrix today.
I still love to surf, snowboard, and of course skate, so I take Cuno Magnesium to support my muscle and bone health. Cuno's high absorption magnesium glycinate helps me get the full benefits of magnesium. Cuno, the brand I trust.
Asking the right question can greatly impact your future.
Are you qualified to do this?
What? Especially when it comes to your finances.
Are you a certified financial planner?
I'm a CFP professional.
CFP professionals are committed to acting in your best interest. That's why it's gotta be a CFP.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel. Clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
This April at Renewal by Anderson, replace your windows, your patio doors, or your entry door, and we're going to give you an amazing opportunity. You ready? Pay nothing. And I mean zero zilch nada for 12 months. Just to be clear,
Share and subscribe, y'all. Like, hate, comment. Go to Erik Powery for ericp4president.org and fill out the form. Join the Powery posse. Like, hate, comment, share, and subscribe. SNS, subscribe and share. I'm out.
Customers choose to finance. It just makes sense. But hold on. Why choose renewal by Anderson in the first